Okay, this video is a tutorial on a to-do list app, and we are going to use Microsoft Visual Studio Community 2015. And the prereqs for this video are that you have experience with JavaScript, CSS, and HTML. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new project, and we're going to create an ASP.NET web application choosing C#. We're just going to name this to-do list tutorial. We're going to choose empty template. Click OK. And once everything loads up, the first three files that I always create for every JavaScript project is I go and create an index.html, index.html. We're going to create our JavaScript file. I just call this main. We're going to create our style sheet file, so we'll just call this styles. And then in my index.html file, I drag my main, the link for my JavaScript file, and then we're going to drag the link for our CSS file, and then we're going to give it a title. We're going to just call it to-do list. And I'm just going to download Bootstrap for this project, and that's just a CSS library to assist with the styling. And then we need to link to we're going to add jQuery, and I like to add the minified jQuery. We're going to put that above our main.js file. Then we're going to add the Bootstrap, the minified version. And then for our CSS link, we are going to add the Bootstrap on top of our style sheet. Okay. So the next thing I like to do is I just like to make sure everything is wired up properly. So just go and we're just gonna give our title my to-do list, and just like to run that and make sure everything looks good. Okay, and so because we're using Bootstrap to kind of keep everything together, I'm just going to put the whole app inside of a container, and that will just allow for the sizing to be, the page and app to be just responsive automatically without without us needing to do anything special. So I'm going to just put that in to the container. And we'll just give this a little bit of styling. We'll just we'll center this using some bootstrap. We'll center, and then we'll also capitalize it. And then we'll create another row, and we will put our items in a well, and this is just going to be our input for our to-do list. So we're going to create an input. We're going to have an ID of to-do item, and we'll add a placeholder that says enter your item. And then we'll create a button to submit. And just add some more bootstrap. And let's just see how that looks. Okay, great. Okay, we're going to add an on click so that once you click the button to add your item, it calls this function, the add item function. And we're going to go into our JavaScript file and wire up everything. So first things first, we're going to add our use strict, and then we're going to create an array that holds our to-do items. Okay, and we need to add our function for adding our to-do item. Okay, so what we're doing in this function is we are taking the value that's in that input. The value is going to the value of this input here is the ID is called to do item. So what we're doing is we're taking that value and we're going to add it to our existing array. So my to do items array, we're going to push this item into this array. We already have a few items, so we're just going to push another item into the array. And then we are going to clear the value that's listed there. So we're going to clear that. Okay, and once we do that, we need to make sure we display our items. So let's create another row, and we'll just create another div, and we'll give it a row. And we'll give this an ID of display items. Okay, and we need to create a function to display our items. So once we add our items, we need to make sure we display our items. And I'm just going to display items when we initially load the page. So if we have any items, this will automatically display those items. Oops. Okay, so what this is doing is this is creating a for loop to go through all the items in the my to-do items array and list all the items, or putting each item in in a separate div and in a separate a separate div for a delete button that's going to be placed next to the to-do item. We can also put this in a table or in a list of some sort, but I just chose to do divs this time. We'll do a list and tables later. Oops, misspelled button. Okay, so let's see if our items at least display on the page. Okay, great. So, oops, we got an error. Let's see what happened.